Anyone talking down to us, assuming us a
Put your feelings aside, give that one shot a try. I'm not that girl.
Sharon H rolling out my weekly dose of unapologetic candidness. Keep watching all the way till the end for my real raw take on when someone treats you like you're an idiot, stupid, plays you for a fool. One talks down to us or at us, makes us feel stupid, inferior. Just remember, they're fulfilling something in them that needs the upper hand. Obviously have a compulsion to feel superior, so to gain this elevation, they must make us feel inferior. Sometimes self-doubt can make us question our intelligence. Our own mind demons can lead us to feeling ill-equipped and foolish. When we are secure enough in ourselves to know when perhaps we were acting a little bit stupid, and when someone is just on a power trip, the likelihood of them getting under our skin, I believe, lessens. We have in fact been playing the fool, and the consensus from the majority is just that perhaps it's time to reflect and modify our behaviour. But if we know for a fact we have not acted a bloody idiot, then I think it's fair to say they're just trying to keep us down to raise their own self-esteem. I think for the most part we know when someone's speaking down to us like we are a child. When we've acted a numbnut and when it's our own mind demon at play. When someone is trying to make us look or feel like a first-rate fucking moron, odds are they know exactly what they're playing at. And they're trying to play us for a fool and anyone else watching on with it. You can most likely bet your ass it's due to their own inferiorities and nothing to do with our capacity to hold an intelligent conversation. They have this inherent need to showcase their smarts, using us as a scapegoat for their own ego. In my experience, highly intelligent people do not have to dominate conversations, treat you like you're an idiot. Piss on your parade in a bid to shine a spotlight on their knowledge for us all to see how brilliant they are. Intelligent people conduct themselves with poise. They typically don't hold conversations with others as though they're proofreading them. Those of true intelligence will share their intelligence without leaving us questioning our own. Then we have those who try to play us for a fool with trickery, pull the wool over our eyes and treat us like we're too much of a numbskull to realize. People that treat us like we're an idiot via deception are not displaying what we are. They're displaying what they are. Shady, untrustworthy fuckers. I've personally always found it more entertaining to not call them or their bullshit out, but to let them go on digging a deeper hole for themselves. See how elaborate they'll spin it. I like toying with them for a while. I'm a bit of an asshole like that. I mean, the quicker you call them out, the quicker they can backtrack and cover. Most of us didn't come down in the last shower. And whilst there are times we may have blinkers on with some people, I think for the most part we know when someone's playing us. Hit that like button for me right now if you agree. Sometimes we brush it under the rug and dismiss our instincts if we want to see the good in people. Sooner or later we have to draw a line in the sand of giving dishonest people the benefit of the doubt. Because no matter how much we may want to believe someone when everything seems far-fetched, I truly believe on some level our gut or good common sense always knows. It's okay to be suckered in by someone initially, but to be suckered in by someone continually would have to mean on some level we're a bloody half-wit. They are not only insulting our intelligence, but displaying shady shit galore. And if that doesn't smack us upside the head with a good dose of reality. After the first con, you could say they saw us coming and played us accordingly. Once someone's fooled me once and the realization dawns, the buck stops there. They sure as hell won't be fooling me twice. As the saying goes, never bullshit a bullshitter. I may look a fool, but I'm nobody's, and I will have their number before they even utter a word. Just because we don't necessarily call someone on their bullshit doesn't mean we can't smell it a mile away. Those that treat us like an idiot do it because it's in them. They believe themselves to be smarter. They underestimate our intelligence and overestimate theirs. We do not have to allow this dynamic. We do not have to sit by and allow anyone to treat us as though we are stupid. We can put them in their place, or we can be 2 steps ahead of them. This is my favourite path to take. There is definitely power in realisation and power in the knowledge we are being deceived. Something to keep it under our hat and another to take it on the chin. To not call them on it does not mean we tolerate it. People who underestimate our intelligence or try to diminish it with holier-than-thou talk-downs are assuming they know us better than we know ourselves. No one on this earth knows us better than we know ourselves. And no one has the right to assume us to be lesser than they. Of course, there will always be those more knowledgeable on certain things than we are. More naturally gifted, more educated, more worldly, and the same goes for them. None of us can know everything, but lack of knowledge or experience does not make us dumb. Lack of knowledge on many things makes us bloody human. We can't control what others think of us, but that's merely their perception. I don't know about you, but there's been times in my life I've acted like a dickhead. And I'm sure the most of us have. Now let's see how many of you are honest here. Give me a bloody oath in the comments if you have. But this does not give anyone free rein to belittle or demean our intelligence. Nor should we ever feel the need to prove anyone who has no relevance to us opinion of us wrong. Avoid, disengage, or discontinue any dialogue when another talks down or degrades. Even when someone is more educated, more experienced than we, this does not necessarily mean they are more intellectual. If it's somebody you care about, that always leaves you feeling like they devalue what you bring to the conversation, then you may need to tactfully address the situation. Even ask them outright why they seemingly never respect your input and habitually leave you feeling downtrodden with their responses. I have been on the receiving end of sarcastic jabs for much of my life. For so many years, I let it get under my skin till I learned there's lots to be gained in others' ill-formed assumptions. The underestimations can fast become of benefit. In truth, I'd rather someone assume me obtuse and shock the bloody hell out of them than someone have high expectations and me disappoint. It's human nature to sum others up on first sight. We all do it. I find power in sitting back quietly and letting others assume me an idiot. I mean, after all, there's a stigma around blondes, and I've been blonde my whole life. The worst thing to do when someone treats us as though we are an idiot is to get our back up, get defensive. I mean, after all, on some level, their behavior is coming from something within them, and getting offended won't help knock them off their high horse. We can put them in their place if we feel the need and have the knowledge to diminish their stance. Sometimes that would be just too bloody easy. Of course, there will be times when it's just too tempting to not take this approach. But hard as it may be to resist the urge to hand them their ass, you have to weigh up whether in doing that you will look as condescending an ass as they. Sometimes silence truly is a golden. Better to walk away before we lose our cool and say something regrettable. But it's also okay to voice our opinion and refuse to allow others to mistreat us. As anyone talking down to us, assuming us a fuckwit, is without question mistreating us. Looking them firm and direct in the eye and making it clear we won't tolerate their shit. When people in our lives think it's acceptable to make us feel as though our opinions are rubbish and it's their privilege to ridicule and mock, then these people deserve to be knocked down a peg or two themselves. But again, it comes down to whether it's worth the conflict or more beneficial to humour them and let them keep making a fool of themselves. Those we know are typically well aware of our triggers and weaknesses, and if they're on an ego trip, they won't hesitate to use them against us. To ask ourselves why we are keeping company with those that make us feel lesser so they can feel more. I know I have way too many times. It's amazing how you suddenly become the mean one when you reach your toleration limit on other people's shit. And those who don't know us or only assume to know us treat us like an idiot. They are judging us based on the way we look, the way they perceive us to carry ourselves. And most definitely are not on fact. Perhaps their unfair judgments are coming from others' opinions. And also come down to the fact that they see us as some sort of a threat too. Not to mention they're bloody rude and ignorant and way out of line. When we let others' opinions and behaviours slide off us like Teflon, we starve their power over us. They want to feed on our belittlement. And when we refuse to feel belittled, their power will be deprived of energy. If someone is being cunning or snide with passive-aggressive jabs or clapbacks, asking them to explain themselves and bringing their behaviour out into the open will typically leave them backpedaling and wishing the earth would open up and swallow them. It will not be a reflection on us, but definitely a reflection on their bitterness. When their end game is to make us look and feel stupid and we highlight their intent. It is not us that is left looking the buffoon. Only they who have insecurities themselves will try to prey on another's. When we and those that matter know that we are anything but stupid, only a fool would insinuate we are. They can only negatively impact our vibe, our life, if we let them permeate our psyche. Only the weak-minded and insecure would find strength in belittling another's intelligence. When it's possible, it's best to pay them no heed. Why fuel their fire with response? Because often no response is the loudest response of all. Why would we want anything to do with those whom negatively impact our lives, when we can surround ourselves with those whom positively impact it? Only those themselves with idiotic tendencies will treat us as though we are in fact the idiots. And often it's because they fear us outshining them and doing better than they. If we believe ourselves to be an idiot, then others will too. We must never buy into others' insinuations or accusations, because who are they or anyone to judge our capacity or level of knowledge? These kinds treat us like we must prove ourselves to them, when in fact it's they trying to prove themselves to others. If they are somehow superior on a higher level, all about them highlighting our supposed stupidity to feel better about themselves and nothing more. Unless we care about them and their opinions, and they can shove their opinions and belittlements up their wazoo. Because that's all it is, a strategy to hide their own insecurities and inferiorities. We must respect ourselves enough to know we deserve better. How we ourselves handle it will go down to preference. We can never allow others' actions or behaviors to define us. We define whom we are, not they. By not being impacted by them, they are defining whom they are. Sinking to their level, in my opinion, would have others questioning which of the two the bigger fucking idiot. We cannot let others be comfortable with the status quo of keeping us beneath them. It's one thing to humour them if we ourselves have taken over the wheel. We cannot allow them to be the driving force of how we see ourselves. We can put them in their place by blasting their behaviour, turning the tables on their heads, become more assertive and set clear boundaries on our limitations on crap if we want them in our lives, or walk away with our head held high. Only we ourselves can decide which action will lead to results as opposed to repercussions. However we choose to deal with their big-headed tactics, we must never forget, if we want respect, we must first respect ourselves and never stupidly allow anyone to paint us as stupid. We are not stupid. It is never anyone's right to treat us as an idiot or play us for a fool. And so I know you've watched all the way till the end. Leave the words "not stupid" with the loopy looking emoji in the comments. You don't want to miss any of my personal growth, personal development videos. Be sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss my next one. I'm so grateful to those of you who already have. If you want to see more, I've linked my playlist below. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Break out of your shell, meet me halfway.